Hi there, it's me, Jenny, and I'm here with a lesson, or just to give you more of my journey on coming into channeling abilities and the pathway that I took to get there. Divine wanted me to break it down to you. That way you can see like how it does take time and growth does happen over a long course of time, and not to get discouraged, because they want me to tell you that you do have abilities. If you are watching this, you're watching it for a reason. You do have abilities, but just like any other skill, it takes practice and repeating it over and over and over again to really understand how it works for you. Everyone's different, and we learn and grow differently, and we use tools differently. So just to help you along your journey, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into mine and where I started. So I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget anything. But when I first started my journey, I started out in Dreamscape. So years ago, I'd say 20 plus years ago, I recognized that a lot of my dreams had revelations in them, or would predict future events, or I had a lot of past life remembrances in my dreams, and I used that as a way to guide me in my decision making at the time. And also during that time, I used pendulum. I used the yes-no method and asking questions to get answers for things quickly when I was first starting out. Then one day I started looking at life a little bit differently, and I shifted my perception. And I like to compare it to like when you're looking at one of those three-dimensional pictures and you would have to stare at it for a long time before the image would come out at you. That's kind of what I would do in this situation. I would be in a room or an environment, and I would look at and observe it to a point to where what didn't fit would stand out, or certain things that didn't belong or that didn't move with the energy of the room would stick out to me, and that also helped me. But what I found I gathered the most data and the most growth from was signs and synchronicities. It began with numbers synchronicities, and then eventually grew into signage and billboards and labels and certain events playing out in front of me in live time that would give me answers to questions that I was seeking. But I always made sure I would go into every situation when I was looking for answers with a question or an idea of what I was needing information for, so that way I knew the answers I was receiving pertained to that and how to make it make sense for me. After that went on for a while, then one day I started having downloads, which you can say basically just clear knowing. It was information coming to me that I didn't understand like what it meant, but it took me having to have the courage to ask certain people that I felt led to talking to about it, does this mean anything to you? And then actually validating me and saying it does, and this is what it means, and this is why it's important. So that was a clear validation, and it made me feel really strong in that ability of being able to receive just information and then giving it out. That's another reason why I like to do these videos, is because a lot of times I put stuff out there that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be brave and put it out there, even though I don't see, like, it may not pertain to me, but it may pertain to someone else that really needs to hear it at that time. And not everyone that comes across my videos or my page, it's going to make sense to, but there may be that one person that does, and it does, and that's what's important. After that started happening, I really definitely dove more into the oracle and the runes and using them as guide tools to help my messages make sense to me. So a lot of times I may not even exactly read the card verbatim, because it's more or less trying to decipher and organize the messages that I'm getting as downloads. I always ask Divine to make sure that the cards help me understand my downloads better. And then after that, I started getting into the writing, where, I just start writing and the information that is being given to me is coming out in clear writing. And then as most recent, I started utilizing clairaudience skills. And that has been very fun, but very challenging, because it really makes you look back at, if you've ever taken a transcendental meditation course. I have years ago, and I remember not liking it very much because I couldn't clear my mind from my own thoughts. It was very hard for me not to think. So I've gotten really good at that. I do now have a new problem, is that, okay, so when you're doing the clairaudience, in my perspective, from what I go through, I hear conversations going on in my head. And it took me a while to realize that those conversations were not me. I can decipher my own thoughts from what these thoughts are. But then once I realized that there was conversations happening in my mind, now I'm like, clear my mind, not thinking of anything, close my eyes. I feel like a pressure here. So there's like a pressure building, and then like, okay, I know I'm in the right headspace. So I remind myself, don't think, don't think. And then I'm thinking about not thinking, and then I start clearing my mind, and I'm going there, I'm getting there, right? But now I'm finding myself trying to like, did I hear something? Make sure you catch it this time. Don't let that information, go by you. You better catch it, Jen. And then it throws me off. So that's the hardest part for me, is to let the information come in, but also catch it at the same time. So that receiving catching the information has been a little bit of a challenge. But I do it every day. Every day I make time to meditate and to receive channeled messages through clairaudience. And it is getting easier. So that is the message for you. If you're watching this, this is meant for you. And you're being told that you do have the abilities and the skill sets. But like everything else, you have to exercise that muscle. You have to practice, and you have to do repetition, because it doesn't come easy for everyone. Some people, certain ways of channeling is a lot easier than others. Everyone's different. For me, downloads are the easiest. I receive them very easy. Just know stuff. But I really want to master clairaudience, so I work on it daily. For you, you may have been clairaudient since you were a child, so maybe this doesn't pertain to you. But maybe paying attention, changing perception, maybe using oracle, maybe getting signs and synchronicities is something that you've never utilized, and they're telling you maybe it's time that you implement that into your practices. So this is more or less just a reminder that you do have the ability and you do have the skill set. You just need to put in the work and repetition over and over and over again, just like anything else. So I hope that helped. Have a good day.